A boycott continues to cripple Bud Light's sales in stores around the nation, with at least one retailer slashing its price for a 24-pack of Bud Light to $3.49, or approximately 14 cents per can, according to a recent report by Beer Business Daily. Bud Light and its parent company Anheuser-Busch have experienced a sharp decline in sales since April, when transgender influencer and activist Dylan Mulvaney promoted the brand after receiving a beer can with her face on it to celebrate her 1-year anniversary of transitioning to a woman. However, the most recent price of 14 cents per can of beer for a 24-pack is not the lowest price for the beer, as Bud Light offered a Memorial Day promotion of a $15 rebate for packs of 15 cans or more. In some areas, a 15-pack of Bud Light sells for less than $15, making the beer free. Anheuser-Busch also recently offered free beer to its wholesalers to smooth over soured relationships. The company overhauled its marketing department and promised to dedicate more funds to it, but some wholesalers are still disappointed in the boycott. The financial blow the company continues to stomach is having trickle-down effects across its distribution channels. Incomes have been slashed for the salespeople who work at the roughly 500 independent wholesalers that sell Anheuser-Busch products to restaurants, bars, and grocery stores. Some reported losing $2,000 last month compared to the typical May because of the backlash. Former Anheuser-Busch InBev AB's parent company executive Anson Frericks recently told ABC News the product boycott is undoubtedly bringing about financial pain for the thousands of salespeople who work for wholesalers who depend largely on performance-based compensation. Compensation for salespeople varies across distributors and markets, but according to Frericks, a typical salesperson makes around $60,000 per year, including $20,000 in variable pay, which depends largely on commission. Good people are going to start leaving because they aren't making money, he told ABC. An anonymous supervisor from a Florida-based distributor told the outlet that the average salesperson made about $2,000 less in the month of May than they normally would have based on figures from the last handful several years. Numbers are suffering primarily due to a decline in Bud Light sales that reached as high as a 60% drop-off over the week that ended on Memorial Day. Woke corporate governance, which recently led to the fiscal hemorrhaging of Anheuser-Busch and Target, often begins with investment firms pressuring them to behave in certain ways, a former executive at the beer conglomerate said. Anson Frericks told Jesse Watters Primetime a lot of the lead-up to decisions, such as the one at his former firm involving transgender activist Dylan Mulvaney that led to a nationwide boycott of Bud Light, stem from the politicking of firms like New York-based BlackRock and Pennsylvania-based Vanguard. Altogether, BlackRock, Vanguard and another firm, State Street, manage about $20 trillion in capital, Frericks said, noting it is not truly their money but that of the investments of Americans' mutual funds and state pension funds. Frericks said in the case of one of the firms, it manages California's pension fund, the largest in the country, and that therefore California politicians can also have a say in the corporate governance and politicking of the firms they invest so heavily in. In California, for example, they recently have mandated those large pension funds that they divest from things like fossil fuels and oil and gas. And then when Bill de Blasio, former mayor of New York, was there, he did the same thing, he said, but they also tell BlackRock, State Street and Vanguard if they're going to manage their money, they have to commit to things like ESG, diversity, equity, inclusion, and adopt firm-wide commitments that they therefore then force